Shantanu, hi. We have gone live already on YouTube. So I was thinking, meanwhile, I'm working with Dr. Sanjeev, but I'm thinking that we can probably start the conversation and, get started with this. But because we are already live, I'll quickly, yeah, hi. So we have Dr. Subramanya, we have Shantanu, and I think Dr. Krishnan is setting up.
Good afternoon, Dr. Subramanya.
Good afternoon.
I'm Shantanu. I'm the CEO of Team Lee's EdTech.
Yeah. Very nice to see you.
Same here, sir. How is the weather there at Mangalore, sir?
No, it's okay now. It's very warm now. No rains. Stopped raining.
So Dr. Krishna is also here, and I'll just wait for Dr. Sanjeev to join.
So Ranesh, do you want us to get started, or do you want us to wait for some more time?
Just give me 2 seconds. I think we'll get started, but let me check with Dr. Sanjeev once. Just 2 minutes.
Professor Krishnan, it's good to see you once again. We met up about 6 months back when we interviewed you for another webinar. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, exactly.
Sir, Professor Subramanian, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Krishnan, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
So I think, Shantanu, let's get started. Meanwhile, I'll check with Dr. Sanjeev. I think, so I was trying to call him the entire day and I was unable to really speak with him. So let's get started. Yeah, so let me just quickly give everybody a brief that this is being organized by India Education Forum in association with Team Lee's EdTech. So basically, this is where we wanted to discuss about that how can universities, prepare students or even the next generation for the future of work. And with COVID and with the industrial revolution, the fourth industrial revolution and everything, things are changing rapidly. And the way we teach, the way we learn, and everything is changing, right? The kind of skills that we need later. So today we have Dr. Krishnan with us, Dr. Subramanya with us, and the session will be moderated by Shantanu. So I think, Shantanu, you should get started. Meanwhile, I'll check with Dr. Sanjeev so that he can join.
Thank you so much. And thank you, sirs, for joining us for this discussion, and pleased to have this conversation with both of you. My first question to Dr. Subramanya, to you. And Rana was setting up the context where we discussed about the future of work. Of late, there has been so much of discussion which is going on around the world about future of world, future of work, future of organization, future of industries. People are also talking about future of degrees, future of universities. So looks like the future looks like quite unpredictable. Not sure what's happening all around there. COVID has accelerated some of these discussions further, right? There's so much of unpredictability because of the technological progress the world is making. And most of these are reality today, right? And there's disruption all around us. In this context, in your opinion, how do you define the future of work? I mean, how unless you can set a goal for yourself, I'm not too sure, how do you start making progress towards it? So what is your opinion about how do you define future of work?
Okay, fine. Good afternoon to my fellow panelists and all the viewers. It's a very relevant and a bit loaded question about the future of work. Work is worship, no doubt about it. The organizations are not charitable trusts. They must be economically viable. They have to create new value and they have to add value to the already created value, because it's a kind of economic proposition. Every organization is operating within a socio-technical, legal, political, cultural, and environmental framework. Because in every organization, we'll come across 9 critical elements based on my experience over the last 4 decades. The first one is people, then structure, task, technology, culture, strategies, systems, processes, and environment. When I say environment, internal and external environment. As a matter of fact, before plunging into the future or before we try to invent the future, we must not forget about our own history. Then understand the current, because my logic is very simple. Study the past, analyze the present, and with the help of both, we will be able to project the future trends and status.
Absolutely.
Unless we get the market intelligence, unless we know where exactly we are standing, we cannot sit down. Therefore, making an educated guess must be very relevant, appropriate, and significant from the point of view of defining future work. Because there is no death for tomorrow. Tomorrow will never die. But the question is, are we prepared to face all these contingencies? The kind of preparation, when I say kind of preparation, in the higher educational institutions, I talk about the 5 dimensions: physical, mental, intellectual, social, and spiritual well-being of all the stakeholders. That's very, very important. As a matter of fact, when we understand the past, okay, we had the educational policies of 1968, 1986, and some tweaking during 1992. Then we have got, after 34 years, we have got the National Education Policy 2020, which is intending to transform the entire landscape of education system in India, right from pre-KG to PG and beyond. But the question is, when we visualize all these things, only the 2 critical challenges. One is the mindset, because normally we say it cannot be done. With an open mind, we will never question how to do it. That's very, very important. The second challenge is implementation. Normally I say implementation is the key. All these years, we are lagging far behind. Whenever the question of implementation comes, suddenly we develop cold feet. Absolutely. Or we will be very, very apologetic in our tone, and negativity will rule the roost. The point is implementation, execution excellence is very, very important. It means planning, doing, checking, and acting upon the current scenario. That's very, very important. It means it is just like a key. With the same key, you can lock and you can unlock it. Therefore, mindset is the challenge. Implementation is the key. Now, as a matter of fact, today, qualification is not equal to employability, or what I say, competencies. Then qualification is measured in terms of documentary evidences in support of our claims in the form of our marks cards, degree certificates, or cumulative grade point average provided by the universities after conducting examination, whether it is online or offline or in a blended mode. But the question is, the latest report I was going through yesterday, 80% of the engineering graduates and 90% of management graduates are not fit for the current jobs. Forget about the future. Therefore, 3 E's is one of the letters of the English alphabet is E. 3 E's are making a lot of noise, positive noise. One is education. We talk about quality education. Second one is employability. The third one is employment. Unfortunately, all these days, employability was put to the back burner, and we are overemphasizing quality education and fetching employment through placement and other aspects.
So well said.
I say never put the cart before the horse. So it means understand where is our future. So it means there is a yawning gulf between qualification and competency. To me, it appears that competency is made up of 5 critical ingredients. I call it KASHV, Kash tu meri hoti to. It means KASHV. K stands for knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Domain specific, application oriented knowledge. K. A means attitude, because ultimately our attitude will always determine our altitude, the height of thinking, the thought process, the action tendencies, and eventually actions. A should be positive mental attitude. Then S stands for relevant and requisite skill mix. For example, National Skill Development Corporation of India talks about de-skilling problem of Indian human resource. There is a need to upskill, update our skill mix, and skills not only for today and tomorrow, for the next 10 years. We can visualize, because National Skills Framework is coming out with almost occupational framework and the requisite skill mix required for each and every work in the days to come. Therefore, the problem is skill development of our human resource.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest question today. India is rich in terms of human resources, no doubt about it. As far as higher education is concerned, India is holding the third position in the entire globe, next to USA and China. But the question is, India is rich in terms of human resources. Are they resourceful? No, they are not yet resourceful, because our nation is young nation today. Because average age of India's population is around 27 years. We are enjoying demographic dividend. Unless we fine-tune the competencies of our youth in India, we will have to invite what you call the unwanted trend called demographic disaster. We should reverse the cycle of failure. Therefore, skill mix. Then the fourth is habits. The work habits will be determined by what you call learning habits within the portals of the university or the college or HEI, higher education institution. Because habits acquired with the help of portability or transferability of the skills and habits will be transferred to the workplace, and the candidate will become more employable. He will or she will become what you call future ready. So future universities should think in terms of fine-tuning or developing constructive learning habits. Then the fifth one, very, very important, the ethical fiber of education system in India. It means what I say, the transparency, accountability of the higher education. It means you should be ethical beyond doubt. For example, Wipro talks about integrity. According to Wipro, integrity is nothing but being ethical beyond doubt. So if you produce false CV, what will happen? See, wrong selection process. That will not only damage the reputation of the institution hiring, or it will question the hiring intent and also hiring tendency. So it means, therefore, we must be able to convert qualification into competencies. Then only we can assure deliverables. Because today it is not the output, outcome-based assessment, the end result. That being the case, knowledge, attitudes, skills, habits, and values. So it means the higher education framework, which will be applicable for the days to come in the future also. One is access. It means it is possible through expansion. But unless you consolidate the existing position of higher education institutions, there is no point in creating new HIE in each district having 3,000 students. That's what the Knowledge Commission talks about it. Then another one is equity. Equity, social justice. Justice delayed is justice denied. There should not be what you call miscarriage of justice. So equity. The third one is excellence. It refers to quality education. Then affordability, the pricing mechanism. Because we have got what you call below average students, fast learners, and coming from socio-economically disadvantaged section, we should take care of them in India. So it means affordability. Then autonomy, freedom to take actions. Because today the education system is student-centric, student-focused, because we have got academic bank of credits, multiple entry, multiple exit, 4-year undergraduate program. Even in Karnataka, we are thinking in terms of introducing from this academic year only 21-22.
Correct.
So that means a student joining an undergraduate program, because of eventualities, he or she has to live in between. See, once he lives in the first year, he or she need not live empty-handed. He or she will get certificate. Second year, completion means diploma. Third year means degree. The fourth year means BA honors, BCom honors. Then with 1 year, you can complete your post-graduation. So that kind of scenario we are visualizing. It means autonomy, then accountability, ultimate answerability, not only to the parliament or to the state assembly, but to the public at large, because we are accountable. Whatever we do, every 1 rupee invested by a corporate sector must be justifiable. Earlier, we were talking about zero-based budgeting, not the incremental budgeting, not the historical budgeting. Therefore, accountability is very, very important. Teacher will become supreme. But the question is, again, employability. It is not simply chasing the existing employment opportunities, but creating new opportunities for yourself, self-employment, entrepreneurial opportunities, startup, technical startups, all those things. Then ultimately outcomes. So that being the case, today 1/3 online, whether you like it or not, 1/3 on-site or offline. Then the 1/3 experiential learning programs. Students must get hands-on experience. Then only there will be skill development. So that being the case, the education institution should become both high-tech and high-touch. Because today we talk about disruptive technologies. Now I talked about competencies are very, very important. Remember, the shelf life of the competencies is always short-lived. And it is more so in the future, because we are talking about future. So in the immediate future, what I'm visualizing is artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data analytics, robotics, Internet of Things, then virtual webinars, then blockchain technology. All these things will revolutionize cobots, particularly in the telecom industry, logistics. Absolutely. So we have to redefine the universities. We have to reimagine our universities, reinvigorate the style of teaching, learning, evaluation processes. Are we ready? So future-ready universities, they are experiencing what they call whitewater syndrome. Whitewater syndrome is nothing but turbulence never expected. As a teacher today, as an academic administrator, as vice chancellor, I am always expecting unexpected things. I must be able to question unquestionable things because it is human capital intensive education sector. So it means when I talk about infrastructure, not only physical, but also human, intellectual, digital, financial. Ultimately, we have to create, build, sustain win-win situations. That is what through internships, practicals, project works, and more cohesive and purpose-oriented industry, academia collaboration, industry, academia, society linkages, very, very important. Public-private participation must be welcomed. We have to initiate CSR possibilities, and we have to embrace what we call lifelong learning mission. We should unlearn what we have long learned, relearn new things, and we should get ourselves committed to the process of continuous learning, improvement, and development. That is possible only when we change our lens, the way in which we foresee the possibilities. For example, COVID-19 pandemic created first wave, the second wave. We are also waiting for the third wave. We are not anxious, but we are prepared. The point is, COVID-19 will live with us for the days to come. But COVID-19 pandemic created not only the crisis, but also it has opened up the window of opportunities. I will always see the positive side of it. Therefore, future is bright only when we are determined to bring about not only changes in some pockets of excellence, but we have to bring about transformation in the way we handle the higher education system in India.
Thank you so much. That's so enlightening, sir. But that brings a different question to me, and I have a question for Dr. Krishnan at this point in time. So normally what I've seen is that degrees are considered as lifelong stamp of professional competency. That's what it means. If you're from an IIT, it means you are a well-read person. If you're an IIM, you are supposed to be a genius any which way, right? If you are an engineering graduate, you're supposed to be logical. Those are the stuff that professional competency are attached to degrees. But hearing from so many other industries, so many other employers, and looking at the future of work, in your opinion, what is going to be more important, degrees or job skills in the future? Dr. Krishnan.
Yes. First of all, I am so happy the India Education Forum really arranged such a wonderful meeting. It's a very much needed for this scenario. Before I am answering the question, I have to tell that now that academic institutes, we feel difficult to take the students and train the students because everything is going on online. But first question I want to put it here, why we have not prepared ourselves for any disaster, right? Whenever we are getting disaster, not only the COVID or any tsunami, or earthquake, once it's coming, then only we are working for that. For example, I can say that even recently you can see all the newspapers. If you are coming to the online, particularly if you are talking about the Madurai Kamaraj University, it is a good university in the southern part of India, where we have surrounded by near about 75 villages, right? If you are taking the villages, I think not more than 45 or 50% of my students getting the internet facilities.
Oh.
And also they are the poor students. They are not having a good mobile phone to listen the teaching, what they are getting from the teachers. Third thing, they are living in a small room where their family and everybody is living together. They are not giving a good platform to learn whatever their teachers are teaching. These are the areas where we are having. Number two, people should not mislead saying that coming to the university or any academic institution, it's not only for getting the degree, right? It's for face-to-face learning, learning the behavior, how to move with the people, how we can interact with the teachers. I'm sure that nowadays, whether the students are getting the real interaction with the teachers or not, that is $1 million question. So these are the facilities we don't have. Really, if I'm talking, we don't have. Yeah, as my professor Subramania told that, first we have to develop the technology, whatever you want to implement. We can talk to, so many things. For example, you can take, when I was a student, I'm talking about 90s or the 1995, 2000. That time, we don't know the computers. We don't know the computers. We don't know the mobile. But by experience, because we are not ready to accept the technology that time. Of course, thanks to that government, central government, where introduced the computers. Now everybody is having the computer. So my first focus is, if you are trying to preparing the next generation for the future, we have to think about the future accordingly. Any institute, even academic, industry, whatever you want to discuss, they have to have the preparedness to meet out the challenges. That is the first one. The question what you have asked to me, whether the students are coming for the degree or the skill or employment.
Your opinion is, in future, what is going to be more important? Degree
is more important. For example, if you are saying that I am a student of biotechnology, okay? So 40 students in my classroom. All the 40 students are going to get the MSc first class in biotechnology. But can I say that all 40s are equal in the knowledge of biotechnology? No. Mark-wise is okay. Basic knowledge-wise okay. But how they are going to technology is a different story. That is going to give the employment. For example, in a small college, they have started the biotechnology, but they are not teaching the practical properly. Even I am telling so many meetings, as an example, my brother's son, 3 sons are electrical engineers. They are employed in different area. When we are sitting in any, festival or anything, when we are joining in the village, a small power cut is coming or any problem in the electricity, they will call the electricity people, what happened to, and identify that mistake. Then what's the practical knowledge they are having? Having the degree of engineering in what you called the, electrical engineer. He doesn't know that how to apply that. The similar thing I can say, the biotechnology is a well-known subject and we put a lot of money in India for the last 30 years, right? Still now, every people, they don't understand that's what's the COVID, what's the virus, how it's going to infect, what is going to affect. Because even today, we have the camp for the vaccination, but people are not coming. They're afraid of it. Whether they get the fever, they get the headache, or they are having some side effect, okay. So who is responsible for that, right? So what I am saying that knowledge, we need education, but employment, we need a skill. That is a very important thing. But the skill, how it should be, that is the very next question you should ask. What do you mean? The exponential technology is coming out now in India, not only in India, everywhere. The exponential technology, what my colleague Professor Subramania rightly told there. You can take any field. Now, everybody should know that artificial intelligence. Everybody should know that what big data analysis. I mean, what you call the blockchain or whatever you want to say, machine learning, everything they should understand that. But when you are asking, we have the expert to teach in the university, I can say. I don't know how many percentage of the university is having the experts to teach.
Correct.
What it means, we are not ready for that. The people are going, very fast, but we are not ready for that. Even if you want to run a certificate course in artificial intelligence in our university, teachers I am calling from other part of the country. They are not having a good skill to teach that what you call the artificial intelligence. But in UK or US or any country, you can go there. They are applying the artificial intelligence. And if you need, as you wish, even shoe, you can make it as per your wish. Which color I should have, what, the fractions I can make it, and it suits for me. Even bike also. That is artificial intelligence. So now we are talking about it. But that is a very important thing. But whenever we are talking to the students, even as a teacher, I'm saying that, no. Now basic biotechnology, you teach what artificial intelligence is going to do that. But recall that earlier what we did that robotics is an imagination. People are talking imagination. Now, more about over than 20 million jobs are available when you know the robotic technology.
Absolutely.
But other side, you can think about it. How many people it's going to last their employability? That is a different story. But technology has come. Asia, you are also exposed to that all throughout India.
Yeah.
Tell that how many institutes having the skill to teach robotics? No. So that is very important. What higher education very clearly says that your higher education should give the basic knowledge, the excellence out of your subject. The excellence should give the innovation. That innovation should go to the society. Then only higher education is the higher education. Otherwise, even rightly our great leader Mahatma Gandhi told that if my higher education is not going to change my society, I will not respect the society.
Absolutely.
That is the thing we need now. Skill, not only get the employment, to become an entrepreneur. Right? Even yesterday, I think you read about the news from Rajasthan. A handicapped, youngest patent owner, a 14 years young boy, who got the first patent in India, youngest patent. You know that what is that? Even after studying only, I know that what is the invention. He developed that a chessboard is having the round circle where more than 4 or 5 people sit together to play the chess. How many people we know that? Why the technology is not spread out to India? Right? That is, I have more examples. Our own, knowledge is not taken properly. That is a very important thing. So since India, even Any people say, I will not accept it. India is a village-oriented country. We have more technology in villages. It should properly taken and the skills should be given to that, what you call to the students. They will get the employment. No need to depend upon the other people. Number one. Number two, if you are saying that now a fellow came from Uber to my university to give that entrepreneur. One fellow succeeded to develop a Uber car. How many drivers now is getting the job? How many drivers? A single mind. He's not applying anything. Simply he interacted with so many people. Now he is giving the what you called the employment. So what I can say that your answer for the direct question, the direct answer is we need education, but it should be skill oriented.
Absolutely.
It should have the excellence. It should have the innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And you sparked so many debates. And Dr. Subramanian started something else when his speech, when he said that employability is a bigger problem than employment. My next question to you is Dr. Mittal. Thanks for joining us. And so you are on mute.
I hope. No, I have unmuted, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Welcome. So I have a different question for you, sir. When I speak to so many students, higher education normally is considered to be like working like a pathway, leading students to their first jobs, making their careers. But at the other end, when you talk to employers, most employers are disappointed that the students who come out from the universities do not possess the skill sets which are required to fill up the open position that they have to offer. What would be your comments, sir? Why is this happening?
So I think what you have said is the very right question. And the truth is also like that, sir. So basically what we are finding is that there are certain problems in the systems that we are trying to have when we talk in terms of higher education.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for example, when we talk in terms of certain programs or certain courses that we are running, the problem is that we have not created a system where we get a trigger that now is the time that we should revise our syllabus. So as a result of that, what is happening is that whatever syllabus we are trying to teach, we keep on teaching it for times to come, maybe 5 years, 6 years, 10 years down the line, syllabuses are not changed. And basically faculties are also not interested to bring about a change in the syllabus or the curriculum, because they also feel moment new courses are going to be introduced, it is going to basically create a challenge or a problem for them. So they are also having their comfort zone. And because of that comfort zone, either for the a particular curriculum in charge or for a particular faculty, people are not trying to change with the times to come. Secondly, when it comes over there to pedagogy, again, we are not trying to change that pedagogy. And this is one of the biggest problems which I'm finding for the state universities. I will basically definitely say yes for the private universities. There are a lot of autonomy is there. And they basically adapt themselves with what is the present time. Let's say, for example, if the present time say that if the engineering student wants to learn something, a course on music, why not we should allow that? But when we are talking in terms of the state universities into higher education, then we have so many of, say, hurdles, so many of bodies through which we have to get to have the clearance. Let's say, for example, I talk in terms of an MBA program, which we are running out over in the university. And we say the MBA should be given the latest knowledge about what we are talking in terms of the various software that are used over there by the industry. Maybe that software tool, maybe SPSS, maybe the software tool is in terms of project management or any other type of a software. Let's say, for example, for that particular purpose, maybe a lot of simulation is required to be learned by the students. How exactly the small programming can be done. When all these things, when we talk in terms of the technology, which basically are given these days a name called as disruptive technologies, then what we are finding is that the acceptance of that as a university we are finding is very, very less. Maybe because of two reasons. Number one is the funding aspect, and second is the expertise aspect. And since we are not in a position to incorporate those things over there as a part of our teaching curriculum, so what we are finding is that we are not making our students industry ready. I just give a very small example. There is a very simple technique called as Excel. And let's say, for example, we have a course in management called as Introduction to IT. And introduction to IT, I think the basic thing in that what we need to train the student is how to work on Excel. Because I think every organization practically work on Excel. They practically work on PowerPoint. They practically do everything in terms using the computer. But then what is happening is that we do not provide this type of a training. Neither we ask our students to take up some value addition courses. Let's say, for example, from Microsoft, we have a free Excel program, 15 days, 1 month, but we never encourage. Cisco may also be encouraging, but again, we are not encouraging our students to take up because of certain amount of money that is involved. So similarly, in terms of pedagogy, nowadays we are talking that more of the live projects have to be given, less of the lectures have to be there, more of the video conferences should be there, more audiovisual lessons should be there, and this is given a new name called as flip classrooms. And therefore, we encourage all our affiliated colleges. The government also encourages, why don't you have the flip classroom? But then again comes what is called as the attitude to implement. So what I'm finding is that the vice chancellors or most of the heads of the institutions who are into this higher education are very apprehensive to bring about these changes. And they normally have this feeling, why I should do, why not my successors will do it. And that is how exactly postponement keeps on happening. And that is how exactly we are not in a position to basically create our students which are industry ready. I was just attending one small seminar which was organized by this BML, which is basically Munjal University, Bridge Munjal University, Hero Honda Group Industry, Hero Group of Industries that is situated in Gurgaon. I was really delighted to look in for that. Whatever is the latest technology that can be given to the management graduates, they are incorporating it and they're making the students to learn them not only in the classrooms, but they are also encouraging to go to the industries, take up some live projects out over there. And as a result of this is how exactly things are happening, where we are in a position to basically imbibe these skills which are required in these students. Now, two things are very important which we need to understand. Find out what are the futuristic aspect of the industry. If industry talks of 4.0, can we talk of education also 4.0? If not, then where is the gap? I think higher education has to look in from that perspective. I just remember one small thing that UGC made a directive to all the universities. Do we have a smart classroom? And therefore, what we do is that if my university does not have a smart classroom in every program, I will ignore that circular. Rather than looking in for an opportunity to create the smart classroom, I am trying to ignore the circular. What is required to make a smart classroom? Maybe an interactive panel, which may cost somewhere around 2.5 lakhs, a whiteboard, a mic system, which may cost, say, somewhere around another 20,000 rupees, a furnishing of the room with executive chairs, 1 lakh rupees, and one type of a door, which is having some type of a sensor system so that who can basically have that type of access to that room can only enter in that particular room. This is what is a smart classroom. Investment of a smart classroom, what I practically feel is not more than 5 lakhs. And let's say, for example, I have 20 programs and 5 lakhs per program. The total investment is 1 crore. For a university, I don't feel 1 crore is anything. But then where is that type of a willingness on the part of the head of the institution to create? Why? Because in state universities, what we are finding is that so many of approvals are there, registrar is there, many committees are there, and somewhere or the other, the file is stuck. And maybe if you are having all these clearances, tomorrow accounts people will say, sorry, funds are not there. So I think rightly, we really have to look in for, if funds are not there in the university, we can go for CSR and try to look in for how exactly through CSR we are in a position to mobilize the fund. So this is one aspect that is towards the pedagogy and the syllabus part, as a result of which we are not in a position to make our students industry ready. Because if I just want to make a student ready for Deloitte, I think I really have to call the executive of Deloitte in my organization and understand from him, who is into the recruitment, that what you want from our students, so that at least we are in a position to imbibe those things over there. And once we are in a position to imbibe, I think I will be in a position to make my students ready for at least Deloitte. So how many such multinational corporations, if I say 100 organizations are there, I can invite these 100 people, not in 1 year, maybe over a period of 10 years. So that means 100 divided by 10 persons per year I have to invite. And in a period of 10 years, I'll create a capital which is going to be of 100 pool, 100 people. And I think they are definitely going to be ambassadors for us and will take up the students. So this is what is missing because we are very comfortable in terms of doing the administrative job, not moving out, not trying to have any linkage with the industry, not trying to understand how the technology can be incorporated. I'm just giving an example of Sambalpur University, which is over there in Odisha, which I'm heading as a vice chancellor. So I joined in January only, this January 25th I joined. I immediately basically looked in for how the total office can be automated. Now, I think in July, we are going to start the process of complete automation of the office. No files, all files will be there on the systems. And as a result of that, we are going to have a complete e-office. My examination is going to be completely automated. And all exams we are going to have our online. That is through VPN. We are going to create our own VPN. Third thing, what we have done is that we understood the importance of incubation and skilling. So we are in the process of starting an incubation and skilling center with a CSR from one of the industries that is over here in Sambalpur called as MCL. Now, the third thing which I could understand is the innovation, patent, and IPR. For that, again, we have created one center with an investment of somewhere around 6 crores. So 4 floors are going to be there. First floor will be ideation. Second floor will be prototyping. Third floor will be commercialization. And fourth floor will be IPR. And this is how exactly we are going to create this expertise in the university. Now, another important thing that we have created is that now every department, I have got 22 departments, 20 departments I have already ordered to create a smart class. Then we are also finding out what are the new pedagogy. If we say ICT has to be there, I think we are trying to incorporate a lot of ICT. I'm encouraging my faculty members not to download their PPTs from the Google, rather they have to create their own lessons, like we are trying to have these lessons on SWAM or on MOOCs or whatever is the platform. Now we have tied up with international organizations like QuadX, which is an organization from UK, and we are trying to have the online courses what they have designed. They have 40 such courses, 30 more they are going to add. So as a result of that, we will be in a position to basically provide that environment to what the students we are having. Another thing that we have done is that we have created an Office of International Affairs over here. And this year, this is the first time in the history of Sambalpur University, we have got 96 applications. 35 students we have already confirmed, and another 10 students in undergraduate we are going to give to our affiliated colleges. So if 45 students in 1 year we can mobilize, I think a lot of resources will come. What we have done is that we have created Institute of Information Technology, and through that now we have started a certificate courses in artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, blockchain, IoT, Internet of Things, and all these types of later digital marketing, digitalization, all these types of courses we have already started. And for that, expertise were not there in the university. So what we did, we hired the people from outside. And that is how exactly these courses will be available. We have started a directorate of distance education, and courses like nutrition, nursing, health, all these courses we are starting online, so that at least people from every part of Odisha can take up these types of courses, which basically are job-oriented courses. And we are not finding any such type of university which is providing these types of education in these areas. So this is how exactly I think when we are proactive as a head of the institution, when we can revise the thing, when we are in a position to understand the industry, when we are in a position to basically understand that what is needed today. So as a university, we have adopted 4 villages. So we are into community services. Our history department go for excavation. They find out some monuments. My history department is creating a museum which is state of the art. My role as a vice chancellor is what I keep on meeting my faculty members, keep on meeting with a lot of people from outside. As a result of that, get to have the information from them and come back to university and start implementing those things. And if we are proactive, what I can ensure is that I think time is not very far off, that we as a state university will also be competing with what, with the private sector. Because the best part of the private sector is that their decision is very fast, because it's a one-man show. In state universities, we have so many channels through which we have to follow. And as a result of that, that is a problem. We are creating a state-of-the-art stadium with an investment of 8 crores out over here, funding from what? Western Odisha Development Council. So I'm arranging funds. Ideas come from my faculty, from my people. I arrange funds, we implement those things, and that is how exactly we are progressing. So I think I'm really thankful to you for providing me this opportunity. And I have already requested that I have got a meeting lined up at 2:30. But in any case, since you gave the invitation to me, I'm really thankful to you. I extend invitation to you to visit Sambalpur University and
Absolutely.
try to see practically and say with your own eyes what type of development we are trying to do. Because I'm keeping snaps of the old university and how the university is changing over a period of time,
Thank
so
you
that
so
at
much.
least it becomes a history, right? So
Absolutely.
thank you very much for providing me this opportunity.
Thank
And
you
I'm
so much.
thankful to all my fellow colleagues who basically are on your platform. And I think this symposium you are trying to have is definitely going to bring a lot of additions to the pool of knowledge. And I think the recommendations can accordingly be made to whom? To the Ministry of Higher Education to basically look towards how exactly we can create Indian education into a global education.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
If you
So
permit
many.
me, can I log out, sir? If you permit
Absolutely,
me,
sir.
can I?
We understand. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us, sir. So, Dr. Subramanian, Dr. Mittal made so many different comments, and he talked about the autonomy which is present in the private institutions. He talked about the bureaucratic and all these regulatory hassles that a lot of state universities go through, because of which they're not being able to move as fast as the private sector. He also talked about certain universities being driven by private organizations, like he talked about the Hero Group University, which because of which they're being able to bring a lot of contextual learning for their students. In your opinion, what role do you think that the organization or the industry can play to help universities contextualize their programs and make them more employable when the students come out? What is the role of the industry?
Yeah, there must be very meaningful and effective industry academia collaboration. Sometimes, we think in terms of signing up what you call memorandum of understanding, or signing up with what you call the adjunct faculties. More often than not, they'll be on documents, on record. At the ground level, nothing is being actualized, or nothing is being materialized. That should not happen. See, when we understand, I am also working for a state university in Karnataka state, because that is Mangalore University. All said and done, the state universities are suffering from certain problems, the very relevant problems, so that we can think in terms of having marriage with the industry collaborators. The first one is outdated and rigid curricula. Again, I am telling you, the mindset is the problem or the challenge. Implementation is the key. The second one is large numbers of vacant faculty positions. See, in my own university, 2/3 of the faculty positions are left vacant. And we are using guest teachers or visiting faculties, some stopgap arrangements. See, that should not happen. So we have to expedite the process of filling up all vacant faculty positions as early as possible. The third one is poor quality of faculty in terms of both commitment and competence. Let us be very, very modest and honest in confessing the hard reality at the ground level. So unless we upgrade the competencies of our teachers, because teachers should be supreme, because they can bring about the expected transformation. They are the triggering points. And three things are very, very important. One is their capacity or capability. The second one is willingness. The third one is taking the best advantage of the available opportunities before they disappear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that kind of resilience should be there on the part of the teaching community. The fourth problem, we are coming to terms with this fourth problem, is poor systemic enablers for student mobility. Thanks to NEP 2020, now multiple entry, multiple exit, academic bank of credits, and the context first, then the content, a lot of things. Yes, a futuristic possibilities are being created. The fifth one is near absence of a culture of research, because we have to inculcate this kind of culture of research in the hearts and minds of the students. And it's not only with the teachers. Then the sixth problem is minimal and poor research work, because in my university, teachers are excelling in terms of publications. I always tell them, Publications are important. It is not the be all or and end all of your existence. You should try in terms of patenting. Patents are very, very important. Research and innovations, that will redefine the branding of the university. Then a flawed and rigid system of examination, because curriculum based instruction, the outdated pedagogical framework, and within the 3 hours you are assessing the student performance in the form of examination. Then your CGPA will decide your qualification credentials. But finally, corporate sector has got many positions unfilled for want of not qualified candidates, but for want of competent candidates. See, that is the problem. So poor methods of teaching and learning, then low levels of skill development among students, resulting in low employability or poor employability quotient. Because today it is not the IQ, it is not even emotional intelligence quotient of Daniel Goleman, but much more than is employability quotient, transferability of domain-specific skills and also generic skills. That's what today we try to define and attain graduate attributes, graduate profile, and graduate learning outcomes.
Absolutely.
Then there are the student learning experiences and outcomes and feedback. That will redefine. So it means dominance of vested interests, particularly in the state universities. The vice chancellors, it's a kind of tightrope dance for them. They should be assertive. At the same time, they should balance the conflicting expectations of multiple stakeholders.
Absolutely.
Then only they can manage the show. Then inadequate provision and poor management of educational services. In Karnataka, we have got Sakala system. It means timely delivery of error-free services, because my philosophy in my university is student-friendly and public-friendly governance, because we have got e-governance platform, paperless office. Then there are other problems in governance. We have to handle them as efficiently as possible, as effectively as possible. Then need for greater transparency, accountability, and autonomy. But all said and done, because Dr. Krishnan also said, then Dr. Mittal Saab said, the same thing, people resist changes. Why do people resist change? Based on my research experience and also 4 decades of teaching experience and consulting experience and 10 years of administrative experience, I can vouchsafe for the point. There are 4 reasons as to why people normally resist change. First one is lack of understanding the change, whether it's technological change or any administrative reforms, what it is and what it is not. The second reason is fear of change. If we disturb the status quo, what will happen to my well-being or wellness or my vested interest? The third reason is a lack of incentives to undergo the change. Should I come half an hour early? Can I leave my office half an hour early? Or something like that. What are my incentives to embrace the change? The fourth one is very, very important. Lack of trust in those people who initiate the change, who introduce the change. We, they culture. There should be cohesive teamwork. And, it should be based on 3 important principles. Identity of interest. What is good for you is also good for me. Commonality of interest. Second one is mutual trust, confidence, and goodwill among the players. The third one is shared vision and determination to excel. It's just like a chain. A chain is as strong as its weakest link. So these are the 4 important reasons. Then, as you say, the futuristic prospects that is based on graduate attributes, attainment of these attributes, graduate learning outcomes, graduate profile, then program specific outcomes, whether it's a BA or MCOM or MS in cybersecurity, we introduced recently. Then course specific outcomes, it means subject or paper specific outcomes at the end of the course mapping, in what way that will contribute to the achievement of program specific outcomes, and eventually it will lead to graduate outcomes. So it means today, when we go to the sector specific or industry specific expectations in the employment scenario, I come across certain employability skills. I intend to inject into the curriculum the pedagogical innovations, teaching, learning, evaluation process in Bangalore University. The first one is, are we injecting willingness to learn? Because the mentor of Infosys, Narayan Murthy, tells me it is not trainability of the yesteryears, but learnability of the modern times. I am ready to take any graduate, science or arts or commerce, as long as he or she is exhibiting learnability. It means willingness to learn. Second one is good business sense, economic value added profile of a candidate. Third one is optimism. Even in the trying circumstances of COVID-19, you should never lose heart. You should never develop cold feet. I can, so I will. That kind of situation means courage to fail, conviction to succeed, and confidence to win. 3 C's are very, very important. The third one is resilience. Consolidate oneself after some setback, rising from to the ash, just like phoenix bird. Then ability to work under pressure, handling crisis, stress management, then adaptability, then perseverance, then positive mental attitude, self-management, then getting the most from self and others. Should be a good team player, listen actively as well as make oneself heard, then seeking newer and better ways of taking the institution further forward, support others to achieve success, take pride in everything one does, fix priorities and prepare for the unexpected, know how to add value, look at issues from different angles. I call it kaleidoscopic view from the multiple angles, and think ahead, and every time one step ahead. That is what continuous learning, improvement and development. Are we preparing the students for their lives? That's important.
So valuable.
Not even for a job or even a career.
Yeah.
Be able to use new technologies, show commercial awareness, and the war for talent. These are very, very important. The question is, the education sector must be ready to redefine education descriptors, graduate attributes, graduate outcomes, graduate profile, program specific and course specific outcomes, student learning experiences, feedback and outcomes, goodbye to memory based rote learning, and finally we should promote e-learning, experiential learning, looking beyond the curriculum and 4 walls of the classroom, like outdoor learning centers, problem based learning, technology enabled learning ecosystem, and blended learning, because we have got SWAYAM platform and massive open online courses, and also transferability of credits, so that internationalization of higher education is possible. Absolutely. In India.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And you almost defined what your education 4.0 could look like.
Yeah.
And my last question to you, Dr. Krishnan, that brings me there.
Yes.
And the UGC recently brought out this concept note on blended learning. And they defined blended learning as many ways. They said blended could be online plus regular. They said blended could be on the job plus regular. They said apprenticeship. They talked to internship, online, on-site, all of these. They talked about a concept of learning, where learning happens not only inside classrooms, but can happen in many different places. Do you think a concept like that, where some part of the learning happens in the classroom, some part could happen online like a flipped classroom, some part happens along with the industry in terms of internship and apprenticeship, do you think things like this could bring transformative changes for universities, for students, and also for the industry?
Yeah, that's a really much needed question, and also you are looking for the answer. But recently, I think all my university, my chancellor, they know that not only they are giving the concept of blended learning, or they are going for the industrial training. There is a huge amount has given to the universities called the project called RUSA. So in this RUSA, what they are telling, you have to identify the best students, right? From not only the university, colleges, where if you identify some of the brain, having some innovation, they are giving money to develop their knowledge further in collaboration with the industry. That is only by, what you call on-site learning. By that only you can learn that. But they are interacting very much. The idea is taken. But if the idea is coming out very well, then the industry is giving some idea. For that, even we are ready to give 10 lakhs of rupees to start the small, model in their, that outcome where they are doing it. That is the thing. Now we are doing it. Every universities now, they are joining with the industry. For example, I can say in my university, the Requisite had given 300 computers to give the language training, not only the English communication. We have put on MOU with the Japanese embassy, where they need 1,000 students per year, any degree students, having the certificate course on Japanese language. For that, even they are giving the Japanese teacher to teach that. For that, online will not work out. They have to come, they have to sit with the teachers, and they have to take the training and get the certificate. That is the one thing. So, as you rightly told that, we also as a university professors, we are accepting that wherever you need online, it's possible. Yes, we can go for that. But you can see that today, I think you also know that every way we need a technician to go for the RT-PCR to test your COVID presence or not. But how I can teach that as a biotechnology teacher, RT-PCR, how I can teach in the online? It's not possible at all. We have to sit with the instrument, we have to load the sample, we have to run the experiment. Then only I can say that the person is having that COVID or not. So these are the type of training we need on site. It's not possible to go for that, what you call the online. So only rightly UGC told that blended mode. Wherever possible, you can go for the online. Because basic theory or basic knowledge or basic, what you call the problems, you can teach. Okay. But we have to give the real training for practical in that on site in collaboration with the industry. So now UGC insisting that all the university vice chancellors, as my professor Mittal told that, we have to have one industrial person in the syllabus per week. Then only you can make a syllabus according to their need for the industry. That is very much now we are following. So what we are telling, for example, if you are taking the psychology students, we are teaching psychology by online. There is no problem at all. But when you are going for the psychology practical, where a psychiatrist should be there to teach the students how it will go, they have to go for the on-site. Absolutely. We have to collaborate with the hospitals. They have to go to the hospitals, then they have to do that. So, we need blended learning. Practical, we should go for that, what you called the on-site training. Why? Because we need analytical thinking if you are getting into the industries. We need active learning when you are going to the industry. Then we are having that understanding the problem when we are sitting in the industry. It's not possible to see that because when you are running any instruments, you get a lot of difficulties to run the instruments. That you can learn only you are sitting with the instruments. Number 4, critical thinking and analysis. Absolutely. The results, what you are going to get, you should see that whether it's accepted result or it should be going for further analysis. I think I no need to tell that. So many artificial results are artifact. You are not getting the exact results what you are giving. So then if you are seeing that the leadership to cover everything, the leadership is important. Yeah, how you are going to develop the leadership? Not only by seeing or teaching. When you are going to getting into the industry only, I can learn the leadership. What you call the basic problem we are having. My Professor Subramania rightly told me. We have to train the teachers. We have to give that good ambience for my students. I have to see that the hostels are very good or not. Food is very good or not. Facilities are very good or not. One example, Mittal rightly told that. We have 84, what you call smart classroom. But my sorry to say that my teacher doesn't know that why you have to have a smart classroom, how to operate the smart classroom. I mean, they don't know the training at all.
Yeah.
So these are the things we have to go for. Then only we can take the technology properly to the society.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
That is the answer I can give. We need blended methods of learning. We need on-site training for some cases. Then only you can, I think, give a good student with the skill to the society for the improvement of the nation.
Absolutely, very well said, sir. And I also heard the Prime Minister during his last budget speech, post-budget, he also said that the government of India has allocated close to about 3,000 crores for apprentices, which means that if the students are going for such on-site trainings, they will get a stipend being paid by the industry, which also helps people from, for example, universities like yours, which is surrounded by villages and so many rural people coming in there, can obviously help employability. Thank you so much, sir. And this was really an insightful discussion. I learned so many things from so much stuff that you said. And I have made my notes here, sir. I mean, a lot of stuff that you guys said, I've made notes because they're so insightful. I mean, I'm going to write an article probably on the stuff that I've learned today. Thank you so much for joining us. In interest of time, thanking you so much. Over to you, Rana.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It definitely was a very interesting session. We'll definitely, take out snippets and share the recording with all of you so that you can share it again. It was a closed-door event, and many people joined us live on YouTube. So I'll send all the questions that we have received to all of you so that you guys can answer. And thank you so much for joining. I'll connect with each one of you separately to tell you how much we enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.
On behalf of all Vice Chancellors, on behalf of all Vice Chancellors, I thank you very much for that education, Indian Education Forum, for giving a very good platform for the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.